Hey guys, today I've got a fun project for you. Today I'm going to show you guys how to make a meme generator. There's two versions I'm going to show you guys. One is an easy version, which just shows you a random meme among a selection of memes, and the hard version selects an image and a piece of text separately and then puts them together. Let me show you the easy one first. I'll show you guys the finished results and then I'll show you guys the code. So there's a button here that says new meme and there's a meme below it. You click new meme, it shows you a new meme randomly. That is the easy meme generator. Let me show you guys the hard one. So it's taking an image and text and putting them together. Now we cannot see the text. Okay, here's what the hard meme generator looks like. It's taking an image and text and putting them together. When I click new meme, it picks a new image, but it also picks new text. So let's talk about the easy one first, and then I'll talk about the hard one. Let's see, my easy one. So the way this one works is we have two elements. It's pretty simple in terms of what elements are going on here. There's two elements. There's a button and an image. So the button is right here. The button has an ID so that JavaScript can identify it, and it also has an onClick function. And that onClick function is called newMeme. And this function picks a meme from a list and then displays it in the image element, which is right below it. Here's the image element. It has an ID of meme and a source that's blank. It does not need this ending tag. That's all we need for the HTML. JavaScript is going to do the rest. JavaScript is very powerful. So let's see the JavaScript. One thing you might notice is I have two functions, new meme and startup. I have JavaScript create the list of memes not right away, but when the window loads. Because if I try to have it start trying to find the image element right away, right when the script.js file starts running, the HTML file or the window won't be done loading yet. So it will look for the element with the ID meme and not find it because it's not yet loaded. So window.onload is an object property that runs a function when the window is done loading. So I called that function startup and I defined it here. So when the window loads, and only when the window loads, look for the meme image element, the image element, any element really, with the ID meme, and call that meme. So now we have an element object called meme that contains the image element that will contain the meme. Then we have a list of memes, which is really a list of the image pathways. There's two ways you could do this. You could either upload files to your set of files, or you could reference code from the internet, or not code. You could reference an address from the internet to get your meme here, but Either way, what goes here is an address to an image. And these will be in quotes and separated by commas because they are strings. And of course, when we start the window, we want it to generate one new meme. We want it to do new meme once so that a random meme shows up when the window loads. That's all that will happen when the window loads. So that's what happens when we click run. It picks a random meme. What does that mean exactly? Well, how it picks a random item from this list is it generates a random number which will represent the index that it's picking from. If you remember from Python, an index is a number that represents an item's place in a list. So the meme number will be a number that represents which item in the list will be chosen. So math.random generates a random number between 0 and 1, but it's a decimal, a floating number. And we need it to not be a floating number. We need it to be an integer. So we pass that into math floor, which ensures that it's an integer and that it includes 0 because the first item in the list, that would be CSS issues, has the index of 0. Um, that, however, would create a list of numbers between, that would either generate 0 or 1. And that's not what you, actually this would just generate 0 every time. So to make sure that this generates a number between 0 and some other number, you'd have to multiply this floating number by another number, and then take this value and round it down. So we're going to multiply the floating randomly generated number by the highest number that you want the generator to be able to generate, which is the number of items in our list. So to reference that number, the number of items in our list, we'll say the name of the list, meme list, dot length. And that property contains an integer, which is the number of items in the list. Right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 items. So meme list.length right now is equal to 5. So meme number will equal any number between 0 and 4. It will not equal 5 because it's being floored, it's being rounded down. And we need a semicolon here, and here, and here. So after it's generated this number, it can then use that number to pick an item out of the list. So we'll use a very nice method that can be called on any element object called setAttribute. And we'll use that to change the source attribute of the image element to change what image is displayed there. So the meme attribute source will be changed to one of these image pathways. And to select an item out of a list, you say the name of the list, and then in square brackets, the index that you want to pull out of the list. This is called subscripting. So we're subscripting the list to get an item out of it. So this is a two-step process. It picks a number, which will represent which item will be taken out of the list, and then it takes that item out of the list and assigns that item to the new source attribute of the image element. And at that point, the image will change. Sometimes it picks the same image twice in a row, but that's just because I only have 5 items on my list. If you put more items in this list, then you're less likely to get the same item twice in a row. All right. If this would look sufficiently difficult for you, then start with this. However, if you would like a challenge, let me show you the hard generator. The hard generator, what it does is it has two elements, the meme and the caption. The caption is a paragraph element that contains text. So this will take it. I generated 6 different lists: sad images, happy images, and angry images. Sad captions, happy captions, and angry captions. And when new meme is called, um, JavaScript will pick a mood. It will pick whether the meme will be happy, sad, or angry by choosing a mood number and then using a switch statement to choose either an angry, a happy, or a sad meme. And then it will run code for either a happy, an angry, or a sad meme. And each of these cases contains code that's similar to what you saw in the easy one. Creates a random number and then chooses from a list, but it creates 2 random numbers, one for the image and one for the caption. And we have to create different cases because in each of these cases it's choosing from a different list. So if it chooses to make an angry meme, it has to choose an angry image and an angry caption. If it chooses a happy to generate a happy meme, it has to choose a happy image and a happy caption. So it's picking 2 numbers and it's picking from 2 lists. The console logs I put in here to debug it. So if you don't want to have these console logs in here, you don't have to have them. But they're useful to watch and see what your program is doing. So we use set attribute, just like we did with the easy one, to change the image. But to change the caption, instead of using set attribute, we're changing the inner HTML of the paragraph element. And I called it cap because it's short for caption, not because I'm lying. So the inner HTML is changed to, and then we subscript the list of captions to put that particular caption into the element. And that is the case with each one. And the switch statement starts with a curly bracket and ends with a curly bracket. So you say switch the variable that you're checking. In our case, this is mood num. And then you say inside these curly brackets case, and then each possible value of that variable followed by a colon. And the reason I have to say break inside of each switch statement is because if I don't, it will continue on to the next case, regardless of whether or not that case was met. So at the end of every case, it has to say break. Otherwise, it won't stop. It'll just keep going. Oops. It won't stop as in it won't break out of the switch statement. It will keep going on to these next lines of code without realizing that the switch statement is over and it needs to move on to the next part. If you want, you can add more emotions, like you can add surprised, like a possibility of making a surprised memes, which will take a little bit more work, but it might be worth it. If you have any questions, leave a comment, let me know, and have fun.